Oftentimes, this time of season, we're trudging to the game through the snow to get to that warm gymnasium. The glow is there. We're looking forward to our games, as always, on a Friday night. But today, right now, we're looking at plays. How many plays? You know it's 5 plays. Stick around. Hey, greetings. Welcome back to 5 Play Friday. I'm Greg Austin with a Better Official. We craft video to help basketball officials get better. And one of the ways we do that is we look at plays, all of the things. Let's look at play number 1. Possible backcourt on this. What do you have on play number 1? All right, backcourt ruled by our calling official. Was this call correct or incorrect? What do you have on the play? Put your ruling down in the comments below and stick around to the end of the video where we'll look at all of the things on play number 1. All right, moving on to play number 2, another backcourt play. Let's take a look. All right, another backcourt play ruled a violation. Do we have the elements for a backcourt violation on this play? This is a throw-in play. Obviously, we can't quite see that fact, but the rhythm of the game tells us so. This is a throw-in play. In order to have backcourt, a ruling of backcourt on a throw-in play, we must first have player control on the court. We must have front court status, and then we must have backcourt status, right? Those elements must be in place. This is a good example, though, on this clip where the player never has front court status with the basketball. Right? If we take a look here, this player has front court status. The ball is deflected. We have a player looking at the basketball. They pick up the basketball with their foot in the backcourt and one foot lifted. They have backcourt status, but they never had front court status. What's a key takeaway from this play is a lot of times we have plays where the player tells us, "Oh, I screwed up. I violated." A funky traveling play where they end up doing the stork thing, where they've lifted their pivot foot and they're holding the basketball, and they just capitulate and give up. Right? This player obviously tells the official, "I am guilty. I have made a mistake," etc. Right? That doesn't mean they have made a mistake or they've done something illegal. So this is incorrectly ruled. This is not a backcourt violation. And oftentimes in a play like this, I'm going to say, well, what did the other officials have? Did they have the ability to come say, hey, did we have player control on the court before back, or whatever? But both of our officials are very engaged with their primary coverage area on this play, which is always impressive, right? We trust our official is going to be there to administer the backcourt, administer the throw-in at the 28-foot line, right? We see our center official. We can't quite see it there. Let's take a look here, right? Lead is engaged in their primary. Center's engaged in their primary, And they're doing their job. Look, they're both, neither of them is looking at the basketball. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And when something happens in the dark, we don't really have the ability to help out our crew member on this play. But a good play to look at, different than some of the throw-in plays that occur from the end line and deflects off a player and it goes into the backcourt. Biggest takeaway on this play would be, don't always react to a player believing they have committed something illegal, right? Because it's not always true. Okay, a two-person game, possible backcourt violation. The official says no, that this is legal. We are in overtime with 30 seconds remaining in the game. Obviously, we want to get this call right every time. You could say, well, the defense got the ball anyway, but this is a missed call, right? This is a clear, obvious backcourt violation. Sometimes as officials, our brain gets a little clouded related to it's a throw-in play. Some officials say, well, on a throw-in, the division line disappears, and ways to remember whether to make rulings or not. But this again, of course, is a status play. What is the status of the player on this play? We have a throw-in, 28-foot mark. We are in overtime, a one-possession game, both teams in the bonus, right? We want to be on top of the game, get everything correct. But there's also a takeaway on this play related to positioning that's obviously critical as well. Not a factor on the play, but something as a young official you can recognize in this situation. We've got a throw-in. Okay. Is this player holding the basketball? Yes. Are they in contact with the court? In the front court? Yes. This player has front court status by rule. They are holding the basketball in the front court, foot down in the front court. They still have front court status. They have a chance here to do one of three things: pass, shoot, request a timeout, right? But in the end, they put their foot down in the backcourt. This is an obvious backcourt violation. Obvious. I don't know what the brain fart was on this play. You could say then after the fact that this player, travels as well. But if we had gotten this call right, then we have red with a front court throw in at the 28-foot mark with 30 seconds remaining and a chance to win the game. Now, they ended up with a layup on this play, but we have made a mistake on this play. This is a backcourt violation by rule. Hard to explain what was going through the mind of the calling official or non-calling official on this play. But yeah. Obviously, end of game. We want to get things right. We want to be at our best and all of the things. Now, let's look at one more thing on this play, right? If you're a young official, right? You are not a young official, right? We have a front court throw in at the 28-foot mark. This is a two-person game. This puts a lot of pressure on our official, right? If you stand next to the thrower in this situation, who is officiating these players in the backcourt? The lead is not officiating these players in the backcourt. You have to, right? So in this instance, we need to bounce the ball to the thrower and mirror the players in the backcourt. How many times when we have a front court throw in like this does the ball go backwards? In excess of maybe 70%. Now, right, if you move back with those players and they throw it into the corner, which there's no players on this play, we can be out of position, but we have to anticipate what's happening in the game. So that would be my counsel on that play, to have better positioning. And then we're out of position for the resulting action. And that, of course, is the risk of being tethered to the throw-in spot. If we're tethered to the throw-in spot, something blows up, goes backcourt, we are out of position on that play. So that's another great takeaway from the play as well. Improve your position on sideline throw-ins. Mirror the players you need to officiate next in the backcourt, and you're going to be at your best when the game demands it. 6 players participating on this play. Let's take a look at what happens next. I mean, I think we're going to end up with a technical foul if we've got 6 participating. Let's take a look. All right, let's take a look. We are coming out of a timeout. We have a front court throw in and defender. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. White has 6 players participating. The crew does not notice this fact. Let's take a look. Ball is loose, and our white coach says, I'm in trouble here. I'm going to call a timeout. Did they have team control of the ball, able to call a timeout? No, they did not. We have granted the timeout. Our red coach says, hey, they've got 6 on the court, ref. Come on, that's a T. Our crew gets together and discusses the play, ends up ruling no penalty on the white team, gives them a front court throw-in, even though gives the red team a front court throw-in? I don't know what the heck's going on here. And then obviously we have an interaction with the coach, a very intimate interaction, and assess 2 technical fouls. Who are we giving the ball to here? Crazy, man. We have made a mistake on this play. We have not done this play very well, and we end up penalizing the coach. What are our options in this situation? Let's go back. First of all, A penalty for 6 players participating is a team technical foul on white, and that should have been assessed in this instance. That's just the bottom line. It needs to be assessed. The ruling needs to be made when discovered. When the team requests and is granted a timeout, we still are in our discovery period. Even if we haven't realized it up until this point, our coach is saying they've got 6, they've got 6. I don't think there's any case to be made that, well, we didn't notice while the ball was live, so therefore we are going to disregard. And if it was, then we need to really fall on our sword in that instance, talk the coach down, let him know our hands are tied, because that would be our ruling if that's our ruling on the play. If we treat the coach in this fashion and after the first technical don't sort of allow the situation, we could have improved things a lot on this play. In the end, the penalty for 6 participating is a technical foul, a team technical on the white team in this instance. All right. Final seconds in Indiana. Let's take a look at this play. All right, chaos reigns. All sorts of stuff going on in this scenario. We have a situation, we are in the final seconds, it's a 5-point game, right? That is all very straightforward. We have a player who shoots from the top of the arc. The officials rule a 3-point goal and score a 3-point goal very clearly. The scoreboard operator fails to note that fact and realizes puts up 2 points. So we have an incorrect score on the board. Why black is not exhausting clock in this situation? They shoot a layup and miss. We come down. Our scoreboard is still incorrect. We've got a player shoots inside the arc. The officials clearly mark it a 2. And our scoreboard operator either maybe realizing, right? And now we've got end of game situation, clearly a foul while the ball is live. I've superimposed a clock here to recognize the timing, but the officials disregard the foul. And at that point, apparently they immediately and directly leave the court, thinking that the game is over, right? The score should have been 30-30. The scoreboard said 30-30. Very confusing. I wish we had more video in this situation, but the bottom line is the officials left the visual confines. They are brought the scorebook. The scorebook says that, hey, ref, the score is tied, right? We need to finish this game. The officials make the determination we cannot come back out after we have left the visual confines in spite of the evidence that you are giving us. So many things at issue here, right? The key question here is, if the scoreboard says 30-30, how can we leave the floor? Even if we think, wait, the scoreboard's wrong, right? How can we leave the floor? We've got to go to the scorer and take care of business. Now, last year, not this year, last year, end of game scenarios was a point of emphasis. We have to communicate with our scorer if there's any whiff of something being inaccurate. We can't leave the game in this situation. Oftentimes, officials are eager to run away from the game at the end of the game because I don't want to be, that's just a habit and fundamental that I want to build in. We don't want to stick around and have to penalize any action or whatever. If there's any doubt about what the score is, we have to solve that puzzle. We have to go and solve that situation. That's our responsibility to the game. Apparently now this game will be replayed from overtime will be played. These teams will have to get together. They'll have to travel. They'll have to play overtime. That's a weird scenario, man. Let's all show up for 4 minutes of action. But that is obviously the right thing to do. This was a game where the score was tied at the end of regulation. We also passed on that foul thinking that it would have no impact on the game. Not something that we want in our game. We have to make this ruling on this foul with 1.4, right? This is a team that feels that they're down, last chance to win, etc. Yeah. So how we handle end of game situations is obviously critical. We owe it to the game. To do any sort of forensic stuff we have to do after the fact, we have to go to the scorer and we have to find out what exactly is the score of the game. There was a misunderstanding and what have you. The scoreboard, we always have to remember, is not the score of the game. The score of the game is what the scorer has in the scorebook. Yeah. We've got to do this. We have to do this for the game. Hey, back at the start of the show, we had that possible backcourt ruling. Let's take a look back at play number 1. All right. Backcourt violation ruled by the calling official. This play is all about status. If we understand status on a play like this, the call is very straightforward and very easy, right? We have to understand that when a player is holding the ball in the front court with front court status and then steps into the backcourt, it is a backcourt violation by rule. Let's take a look at this play and see if we have front court status on this play, right? What is this player's status? They have jumped from the court, caught the basketball in the air. They've jumped from the backcourt. They have backcourt status. Simple, straightforward. They dribble the basketball. They have backcourt status. They pick up the basketball, land on their right foot, land on their left foot, and then they are clearly holding the basketball with front court status. If you are holding the basketball with one of your feet in the front court, you have front court status by rule. This is not a situation where a dribbler is moving from backcourt to front court and we have to have 2 feet in the basketball. That doesn't apply. This isn't a situation where a player jumps from the backcourt on a throw-in. With that situation, it doesn't apply. This player is simply holding the basketball in the front court. This is front court status. When they then replace their foot into the backcourt, a backcourt violation has occurred. Very straightforward. And obviously our coach, with a clear understanding of the rules here, knows that what? Coach doesn't know backcourt rules? Wait a minute. Come on. Can that be possible? Yes. Yes, it can. So we have a call correct here on this rule. It's unusual in that the player landed with a front foot in the front court and then stepped back. It's unusual, but the call itself, without question, accurate ruling by our calling official on the play. Hey, if you need to understand backcourt rules and restrictions, of course, we offer a free course at abetterofficial.com. Here is a link on the screen. You can brush up on your backcourt rules by taking that course. I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. Many thanks to our tremendous show supporters. And of course, for you, we've got additional video action coming up. Make a choice, choose wisely, and we'll see you in the very next video. Take care, everybody.